Call a meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council activity reports. Paul?
I had a planning board meeting last Monday. Welcome the new member, only to realize we have another vacancy. So if anyone's interested, here it is.
For the planning.
Planning board, yep.
Okay.
And the board members on there are myself, Travis Wensman, Bill Fuchs, and Jacob Bertram. So that's who you'll be dealing with.
Well, you got to recruit.
Good.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Done?
Nothing.
Nothing. Oh.
Everything is on you, Neil.
Well, I wasn't all that busy neither. I had the monthly Green Roof meeting, and they got a few things going on. Granny's Attic, plant sale and goods, and May 16th, I believe that's a Saturday. The two open board spots, Roger Hess and Natalie Camerons, are open. Let's Go Fishing had their fundraiser at Queen Bee's. It was very good. I went to that. They do a lot of fishing trips for seniors with the pontoon, a very good organization. April 21st was Volunteer Appreciation Day at Green Roof. There's, I think, 90 people attended. All the people that drive and the volunteers that work there with the senior dining. And May 7th is Older American Day. If you're 80 or older, you get a free meal. And you need to call in with your reservation. Other than that, they're looking at parking lot repairs and still working on the ceiling. And then Friday night was Lion Spaghetti Supper. That's always good, well attended. And Saturday was the spring cleanup, and I believe that went pretty well. And that's Turk.
Okay. You forgot about Dan, but I'll go.
Whoop.
Go ahead.
Either.
All right. Internally here, we had the safety board meeting where we discussed some of the safety issues and concerns, revising the safety plan. And then also internally, the fire department, police department, and myself, we had the first meeting on the new public safety building. So we'll be meeting going forward, discussing that, and we'll go tour a couple of other public safety buildings in the area to kind of get a sense for what our needs would be. So when the time comes, and hopefully we will get approved for a bonding request through the state or through the federal government, we'll have some money to be able to build that. Also had the library board meeting. The library board now, we have a design. There was an open house. So the discussion now is shifting towards funding. How are we going to get the financing and the grant money for this library? So the group agreed to kind of have that be their main focus going forward. Also, Dan will fill you in more on this probably, but we had the Arbor Day celebration in MP Park. The Lions donated a tree. The Painesville landscaping company also donated a tree, and then we planted some trees as well for Arbor Day in the park. And some of you probably already saw that on Facebook. And lastly, I was at the spring cleanup, and yes, it was well attended. Yeah, overall it was good.
Megan?
I had the library board meeting that Tarek mentioned. I unfortunately missed the spring cleanup, so I don't know if anybody managed to pack the perfect box of fluorescent lights this year or not.
No, not as good as you.
Well, of course not. But, and then I also attended the MMBA conference this past weekend, so that was really interesting. Going in Paynesville, Liquor won a prize, which we're very proud of.
What was the prize?
It was for best innovation of the year for the new store. Yeah, so that was very cool. And it was just nice to kind of see some of the new things that are coming up and to understand more about what the city can get out of the liquor store going forward and how we can all work together. So that was really cool. And that's it for me.
Dan? Public Works doing great.
As Tarek said, out at Ampey Park, we added 6 more trees, trying to fill the line going along that sidewalk. That maybe in the future will loop around the park. And we're anticipating some playground equipment to go alongside of those trees for the near future. We did have the spring cleanup that went well. Public Works is working with the DNR. On Friday, we met out at Veterans Park because we had damage to our pier out there. So we've got some metal work and some woodwork to be done. Talked to the DNR today. They're going to give us a section of dock that they have that the wood is gone, but the frame is there. So we're going to take a section off of our dock where the wood is all tore up and the frame is bent. We'll have to piece the pieces back together after we go to Monticello and pick theirs up, along with a bunch of parts that we'll have to reassemble. And we've got some welding to do, so they pulled it up out of the park so we can do some welding on the parts that we need to repair that can't be replaced. So there'll be a little bit of work to get the pier put back together. There's floats that have a couple holes in them, so the park is going to be a little tore up. We have the well driller coming. As soon as road restrictions are off, they'll be in. So I hope the public works with us, that Veterans Park will be a little tore up this spring. We'll get it cleaned up as soon as we can and everything running and everything seated and put back to the way it should be. But it may be a little tore up to start spring off. Other than that, we're trying to keep storm drains open and things going, and I probably had some other stuff, but I'm gonna stop there.
Just a question, what can we do so the dock doesn't get broke up next year?
Oh, visiting with the DNR, best plan is if we can get it over in the bay by the ministries. That'd be the least impacted bay. So we'll talk to the ministries, which is the other thing I was going to mention. We have Waterfest coming up in the middle of May. So we'll be working with the ministries there and the school, and we're getting all that lined up. Everything should be good to go. Hopefully that goes so well this year again. So we'll visit with the ministries if there's a good place over in that bay that we could winter, because it should be less impact from the wind and the ice.
Thank you. Bill, you got something for us?
Yeah, we're starting off the year in the new store. Sales have been going well. March and April are down from January, February, and I think a lot of that has to do with the ice coming off the lake, ice fishermen. A lot of new people coming in the door. The move next to Quick Trip is paying off because we're hearing a lot of good things coming from that end. We're still working on some plumbing issues, and Chuck and we've discussed that again today. Sounds like they'll start working out on the grounds, trying to clean that up, getting it ready with the seeding. It sounds like some of the grass is coming up, but there's quite a bit of work to do outside yet that they'll start working on the punch list here in the next couple of weeks as well. I did attend the MMBA conference, and we did win an award for the best new innovation. We were nominated by 3 of our board members, so that was pretty cool. I'll present that at a future council meeting. So we have the award hanging in the store right now. But no, we're getting geared up for summer. We're excited for summer. It's going well. A lot of good comments. So that's all I have.
Good?
Is that trend normal of it being down more in the spring than the winter? Is that usual? Or is
Well,
that different for
It
this?
depends on when Easter is, depends on when the resorts open up, like a lot of them have opened up. You know, when it was warm several weeks ago, it was great. That weekend was great, and then the last couple weekends have been so-so. But we're holding strong. So nationwide, as you probably learned during our
I
liquor
did.
conference,
I took
liquor
notes.
sales nationwide are down 5%. You know, and we're holding at 13 to 14%
Yeah,
above.
yes.
Since we've moved, and year-to-date, we're right about 13 and a half. So
Basically
obviously-
pre-COVID levels, right?
pre-COVID,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's nice to, you know, we learned a lot about that last week at our conference, so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Public open forum, anybody have anything to, then we'll move on. Consent agenda. We have the minutes, October 2nd, Park and Tree Board, March 9th, Public Works Board, January 21st, Safety Board, March 18th, Ad hoc Downtown Committee, March 12th, Ad hoc Library Board, November 17th of 25, Planning Board. First, I better ask, is there anything on consent agenda we want pulled? If not, I'll keep going. Nothing to pull? Okay, vouchers, $383,429.02. We got a donation for Ampey Park from the Chena Lake Soccer Club, $10,000. It's to purchase and install playground equipment. Very nice, thank you. Concert in the Park series. We got a letter, I don't think I need to read the whole thing, but basically they're requesting use of this would be Community Ed, requesting use of the Veterans Park shelter, kitchen, and outdoor seating again this year for our nonprofit groups who sell concessions during the concerts. Being that the entire concert series is a nonprofit event, I would propose that the City of Painesville be listed as a concert series sponsor, and in turn, the nonprofit groups be given free usage of the kitchen area. So we'll be listed as a sponsor, and that's what we've done in the past is let them have it for free for the concerts. They're on Thursday evenings from 4 to 9, July 9th through August 6th. 4 times this year, they're down from 6. But I guess the other 2 are gonna be, there's gonna be 2 more by the foundation, I believe. Next, we got a fire department member exemption to distance requirement. Firefighter Jessica Stransky has submitted her resignation from the fire department due to her moving out of the distance requirement. However, the fire department has voted to retain Stransky as a Painesville firefighter and finance officer due to the fact that she works in Painesville during the week and has the ability to respond to calls 5 days a week and some weekday overnights within the distance requirement. So the motion is to accept that, and nobody pulled it. I see no objection, and talking to the firefighters here, it's more important to almost have firefighters in the day than at night, so this is pretty much a no-brainer. Thank you. Resignation of planning board member Randy Christman has submitted his resignation from the planning board effective April 20th, 2026. And that's the opening Paul was talking about earlier. And we have an appointment of ad hoc Downtown Street Improvement Committee member. Krista Dombrowski is interested in serving on the ad hoc Downtown Street Improvement Committee to fill the current vacant position. So that is approved. And that will do it for the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Brick, motion by Thielen, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We have another meeting, so we're gonna sneak out.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We have a closed meeting at 6:30.
Yep.
So we got 15 minutes. Can you do it in 15?
think I can do it.
I have
Okay,
some
go
questions.
ahead.
All right, here we
Go
go.
ahead, we'll jump down to
Let me know when you
new
want.
business A.
Fast is my specialty, so.
Perfect.
All right, well, that's.
No pressure, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the clock. We'll dive right in. So if we flip to the first slide, well, I'm going to be walking through the audit results from the 2025 audit. I'm going to start out with a quick overview of the audit process and the purpose of the audit. Essentially, an audit consists of us obtaining your financial records and information from throughout the past year, 2025, and we perform various procedures to help verify the accuracy of that information. So we have the different kinds of procedures laid out here. You know, the most common procedures are just detailed testing and sampling. So looking at the supporting invoices, reports from the state for the funding that you get, property tax statements, etc. Based on all of this, we then express an opinion on whether we feel your financials are accurate. And what we've given you this year is what's called an unmodified opinion. That is the clean opinion that you're hoping to achieve. Next page, here we just have other required communications. In a nutshell, this is where we would tell you if anything went wrong during the audit. You know, did we have problems getting the information that we needed, or see any strange transactions, or just anything that we should make you aware of. As you can see, nothing like that. Everything went very smoothly. The team here does a great job getting us everything that we need for the audit. As part of the audit, we also review your internal controls. So it's kind of the processes and procedures that are behind the numbers. And this page probably looks the same way that it has for the last however many years, just because these are kind of the standard three that we tend to have for a city your size. So the first one being audit adjustments. We do assist with various year-end adjustments to help get those numbers to the full accrual basis of accounting and meet the required reporting requirements. The second one here relates to a segregation of duties issue, which basically just means that there's certain people that have entire access to your accounting system. And whenever that's the case, you want to implement oversight wherever you can and be aware of that. And then the one on the right, the last one, financial statement preparation. That's simply because we as a third party prepare your financials on behalf of the city. And then we also review your compliance with Minnesota statutes. Various checklists are provided by the state. We run through and look at all the different areas listed here. And as you can see, no issues. Everything that we looked at was in compliance. All right, with that, we'll dive into the numbers a bit. And we'll start out with the general fund, just a big picture look for starters. Big picture, just comparing we've got 2021 through 2025 here, revenues, expenses, and the fund balance at the end of the year in green. And then the 2025 budget there. Overall revenues for the year did exceed budgeted amounts by about $170,000. And expenditures also exceeded budget by about $132,000. So for the year, you had budgeted to basically stay flat with your fund balance, but you actually had an increase of about $48,000 for the year. Now the next two pages still focus on just the general fund here and break down those same revenues and expenditures into greater detail. Revenues, there's really not a whole lot to point out here. Other than that, if you look at those four biggest categories that are shown there, and in each one, you're just slightly over budget on your revenues. So what this tells me is that your revenues budget is pretty accurate and just a little conservative, which is probably right where you want to keep it. Next page, same layout, but looking at the expenditures for the general fund. The only item that stood out here a little bit was that you did have some additional public safety related expenditures. Most of this is actually just the flow through state aid for the fire department. You get some pass-through state aid and you don't include it in your budget, but we have to record revenue for it and then also a corresponding expense when it goes out to the fire department, or to the Fire Relief Association, I should say. Other than that, though, things were pretty close to budget across the board. On the airport, fuel costs did increase a bit compared to the budget and prior years, which is just one other item of note. Next page looks at the unassigned fund balance as a percentage of the annual budget. So this is just looking at that ratio. How much of your annual expenditures do you have sitting in your unassigned fund balance at the end of the year? You can see you dropped off slightly compared to the prior year. You're at about 67% for this ratio, but you're still over your minimum or your target of around 55 to 60% for your policy. And then the next page just shows your cash balance over the past 5 years in the general fund. Slight increase here, ended the year at about 1.8 million for a cash balance. Move away from the general fund here, briefly look at some of your other funds. We have your debt service fund and your capital projects fund noted here. Debt service fund, really nothing unusual or nothing to point out here this year. Revenues coming in from taxes and assessments, and then your debt service expenses under the expenditures there. Capital project fund, this actually consists of numerous smaller sub-funds. You can see the breakout of all of these individual capital projects in the back of the financial statements. But the biggest expenditures here this year were the Lake Coronis Trail, airport hangar project, and then you had some street and sidewalk improvement projects. Overall, an increase there of about $24,000 for the year. And you can see the cash in both of those funds over the past 5 years. Debt service holds very steady, and capital projects up and down a little bit, ended the year at about 1.9 million. All right, water fund next. The graph here is focusing just on operating revenues and operating expenses. Compared to the prior year, you can see operating revenues increased about $37,000, and operating expenses actually decreased about $90,000. In 2024, you had some LCCMR project expenses that were going on yet, and those dropped off in 2025, accounting for that decrease. So overall, you had an increase in your net position in this fund of about $292,000. Next page, same layout, looking at the sewer fund. Here things changed a little bit more. Operating expenses held quite steady, dropped off just slightly, but your operating revenues did increase quite a bit, about $435,000 compared to the prior year. So overall, you did have an increase in your net position here of about just under 1.2 million for the year. And then the last fund we'll look at is your liquor fund. Here, things obviously changed a bit with all the new building activities and the bond issuance and things that happened during the year. Operating revenues were up about $12,000, and I should point out that operating revenues, that is the sales net of the cost of those sales, so those were up about $12,000. And then operating expenses increased about $100,000, which there were various building-related costs included in there, and also some additional employee costs during the year. And then down under the non-operating expenses category, you'll see that $115,000. That's mostly debt issuance costs that are one-time costs as well. So as a result of those items, you had a decrease here of about $154,000 for the year. And the next page shows the cash in all three of those funds for the past 5 years. You can see the sewer fund at the top has been increasing steadily over recent years, along with the water utility fund. And then the liquor fund holds pretty steady, You had an increase of about $209,000 in cash, but I should say that that is because you had cash on hand yet from the debt issuance that hadn't been spent yet at the end of the year. And just a couple final pages here, looking at the government-wide numbers. So we take all those funds, we wrap them together, put them on the full accrual basis of accounting, and here we have your overall government-wide assets on this slide, and then the next slide is government-wide, citywide liabilities. Assets, both current assets and non-current assets, increased about $1.6 million this year. So just the result of what you put into infrastructure and the additional grant funding and so on and so forth that came through resulted in additional assets. And then with that, we of course see a corresponding increase in your liabilities with some additional construction liabilities outstanding under that blue short-term category. And then you had some additional debt outstanding in that red bar from the new liquor store bonds that were issued during the year. And then just two final slides that show the future debt payments that are due each year until the current debt is paid off. So the first page here that shows governmental funds, this is debt that's being financed by taxes and assessments. And so this is the amount of the payment that's due each year. So you can see by 2025 or 2035, you would have your current debt issuances paid off. And now the next page shows the same thing, but now this is for your proprietary funds. So this is the water, sewer, and liquor funds. And you can see this one extends out a bit further, drops off significantly in 2035, but then not fully paid off until 2054. That's everything I have. A few minutes to spare. Any questions?
Just a clarification point, when you say unassigned fund balance, that's just the reserves, correct?
Correct, yeah. So when you're looking at fund balance in the general fund, that's the net of your assets minus your liabilities, which usually trends pretty close to cash as well, but it doesn't exactly equal cash. But yeah, it's basically your reserves as a percentage, that ratio was your reserves as a percentage of your annual expenditures.
Okay.
Yep. Any other questions?
So in your opinion, the city's looking pretty good financially?
Yeah, absolutely. No, things seem to be holding strong, and there's not a whole lot of volatility. It seems like you stick with your budget pretty well, and there's no funds that I see anything unusual happening or anything concerning. So, yeah, no concerns from my standpoint.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. The people aren't here yet, Turk.
I don't know if there's,
They are not here yet.
Oh, they're not gonna come?
Well,
Okay.
they're supposed to come,
okay.
but they're not here yet.
Shall we keep going then?
All right, we'll keep going.
All right. Well, then let's go back to old business. A is the airport snow removal equipment project. Who wants that? Chuck or Dale? Chuck?
Yeah, I can take this one. On April 15th, we opened bids for the snow removal equipment for the airport. We got one bid from RDO Equipment Company in the amount of $620,456.42. Obviously, as you see, the equipment has gone up considerably in the past year. The original estimate was based on some estimates for similar equipment last year. So with that, if the council wishes to move forward, we'd recommend it be awarded to RDO Equipment Company, contingent upon our funding. As you may recall, this is 95% federal, 2.5% state, with the 2.5% local match. In order to accomplish that with the federal entitlement funds we have, we would have to we'd have to borrow some entitlement funds from the city of Long Prairie in the amount of $135,092. This is pretty common practice in the airport, these airport projects. Now there's a lot of money that's borrowed from one entity to the other and then paid back in a specified year. So this money would be paid back to Long Prairie in 2027. So the city's total commitment from a local share perspective is estimated at $16,024.21.
Which as far as the city goes, $1,000 more than before for our share.
Yeah, it's 2.5% of the overage, yes.
Still pennies on the dollar.
With that, I think it's a pretty good deal for us. And the money's in the airport CIP, so.
Correct.
How come there's only one bid?
It's,
America.
yeah, it's not that uncommon on these projects because everything has to meet Buy American provisions. And a lot of the equipment does not meet those requirements.
Now that makes sense.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
special.
it's not uncommon to see this
Okay.
in these type of environments.
And Dan, this was for what,
For a loader with a wing and a plow and a blower and a broom. And it's from RDO, which is a very reputable company I've worked with many times in the past, and buying a Deere is a good product.
any other questions?
So when it comes time to pay Long Prairie back, so it'll be 2027, we'll have other funding at that point? Okay. So
Yeah,
I was just reading it.
It's your entitlement funds that you'll get in
Okay.
2027 that we'll borrow back or give back to them.
Works for me.
Okay, then I guess need a motion.
I'll make a motion to proceed with the snow removal equipment project, award the contract to RDO Equipment Company in the amount of $620,000, $456.42. Approve agreement between the City of Painesville and the City of Long Prairie in the amount of $135,092 to reach the necessary FAA funding and the local share of $16,024.21 will come from the airport CIP.
Motion by Paul, second.
Second.
Second by Donna. I'm not gonna repeat all that, but it's basically to approve the $620,456 and the repayment of $135,092 to Long Prairie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, we have a liquor store payment estimate number 7.
Yes, in your packet is a copy of pay estimate number 7 for the liquor store. It's really a lot of the remaining work that's been completed over the last several months. In addition, is a copy of change order 2, which is for adding a couple additional lights in the towards the front of the building, I believe. This is not the final pay request for the project. We are still holding some retainage, and, until, as Bill mentioned earlier, there's a couple punch list items that still need to be addressed out there with the seating and some final grading in some areas, as well as the plumbing corrections. So with that, if there's any questions on the pay request or change order?
Any further discussion or motion?
I'll move to approve payment estimate number 7 in the amount of $54,386.08 payable to Project One Construction, Inc., and change order number 2 in the amount of $2,202 for additional lighting fixtures.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Megan, second by Donna, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, we're still waiting on the,
No, this is different.
oh, okay,
This is just the resolution.
okay, yes.
For the previous one.
okay. Well, then. What page are we on?
The title company has requested that we have a resolution for the lot sale, and I think going forward is probably a good idea to do that for other lots as well. So it was approved last at the last meeting, and now we just need the resolution so we can continue with the title company on closing.
Yes, this is the motion to approve Resolution 2026 for the purchase to Frontier, amount of $21,000. Any other discussion, or somebody want to make the motion?
So moved.
So the motion to approve Resolution 2026-11, approving a purchase agreement for the sale of real property located in the city of Painesville to Frontier Land LLC, and to authorize the mayor and city administrator to sign all necessary closing documents. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We will start with new business. We're done with the audit.
Can I get a motion to approve the audit?
I was just gonna say that.
Oh, yes, we need that. Page 16. 18.
Moving too fast.
Okay. We need a motion to approve the audit.
I'll move to approve the 2025 audit.
Second?
I'll second.
Motion by Megan to approve, second by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're on B, workman's comp waiting period policy, page 30.
Yeah, we drafted a policy which has been reviewed or looked at by both LELS union and ASME union. And the purpose of the policy is to help cover wages while the injured employee is waiting for workers' comp to kick in, which is usually 3 days. So this is just kind of a gap between those 3 days so the employee does not go without pay.
And I see that the ASME and LELS Police Union have approved the policy.
Yep, they have no issues with the policy.
Okay. Anybody got any questions on this?
No?
No, this is pretty straightforward. I'll make a motion to approve the workers' compensation waiting period reimbursement policy and to be incorporated into the personnel policies.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Paul, second by Donna to approve the workers' compensation waiting period reimbursement policy to be incorporated into the personnel policies. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Schooley Mitchell.
Yeah, this is a company that met with Budget and Finance last year. They reapproached us again this year. What they do is they go to other cities and they help them find ways to reduce their costs on their existing, either utilities or billing. One of the things that they're focusing on is credit card billing. So in order for us to work with them, they have a non-binding agreement that they want us to sign. We have no obligation afterwards, but they want to review our information and find us savings before we agree to sign on with them. And all this agreement is doing is protecting them in case they do find us savings and we decide to go with the savings without engaging them.
So if they find savings, we're committed to go with them.
No, whether we find it or not, it's just that if they find savings and we agree to do it on our own, then that's a breach of the agreement.
Right.
But they get a percentage of the savings, is that correct?
If we sign up, if they find us savings and we agree to go with them, then we'll sign on with them, and all their fee is a percentage of the savings over 3 years.
And Budget and Finance does recommend that we go ahead with this.
Budget and Finance agreed to have them review our billing and our credit card processing to see if they can find savings, but in order to do that, they want us to sign that first.
What do you think? It's a good worth looking into?
Yes, I mean, if they find a savings and we're not interested, we just say goodbye.
I mean, $10 is $10. If you,
I got a question for Bill. So you've talked to other cities and municipals that use this for the liquor store?
Yeah, the city of Longville.
Any idea how much they save versus not using Schoolie Mitchell?
It was
He
around,
gave us a report.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have,
I don't have a report, it was about $20,000.
$20,000.
However, I don't know how high their processing fees were. A few years ago, Bill and I went through and changed companies to a lower rate to start with, so it may not be as big of a savings.
Well, it's worth looking at, I would say.
correct.
my only concern when I look at the categories that they're gonna review, we buy a lot of products locally. And, you know, they might find a chain that's out of town and can save us money, but at the end of the day, unless it's really substantial, I think we should try to stay locally.
Well, the ones that we're looking at are mainly credit card processing, any office supply stuff, you know, any telecom like Verizon, the wireless stuff that we use, internet, things like that we use regardless. And if we can keep the same provider, however they negotiate a lower rate with them, then that's the savings that they'd want to share.
And some of these were already, nobody in town offers the service, so we're already doing out of town, but that would be my only concern.
Well, it's just a review. I mean, we don't
Right.
have to do it.
And for office supplies right now, they're focusing on paper, and we do not buy that locally.
Any more discussion or motion?
I'll move to approve the non-binding agreement between the City of Painesville and Vetrano Family Enterprises LLC, DBA Schoolie Mitchell, to review the city's cost to determine possible cost savings.
There's a second.
I'll second.
Motion by Megan, second by Paul to do the review. See if there's any possible cost savings. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Petition to vacate drainage and utility easements, Dwayne Homeshide, D&D storage.
So if you recall, the council has set a lot split public hearing for your next council meeting in May. The lot split is the pink square on the page 41 of your packet. You'll also notice that part of that, if the lot split is approved, they have 2 utility easements running right down the middle of that lot that they would like to vacate, and that is in yellow. So all we would ask tonight of the council is to set the utility easement vacation. If for some reason the lot split does not go through, we just would not hold the utility easement vacation.
Well, this is just for the public hearing.
This is just to set the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to set the drainage and utility easement vacation public hearing for Tuesday, May 26th, 2026 at 6:30 PM.
I'll second.
Motion by Paul, second by Megan to set the public hearing for the drainage and utility easement vacation. Tuesday, May 26th at 6:30. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
You will
Alright.
notice that that's a Tuesday public hearing, that's due to the Memorial Day holiday. Your
Right.
meeting that will be on a Tuesday.
Memorial Day is Monday, so we're gonna meet Tuesday, yep.
All right.
We're gonna hire some summer part-time liquor store clerks. That's probably Bill, huh?
Yes, we're looking to hire a few people to help cover vacations that some of the staff is asking for. Holidays, we would like extra help, and help cover ESST to give us some extra people to call when somebody calls in sick. And we're asking for 2 to start with, and that should cover us very well.
I have a comment for you, Bill. The application process, from what I understand from somebody who's thought about applying, was very lengthy, 20-some pages. Is there any way that can be abbreviated?
That's not my,
Well, I know it's just probably policies and procedures.
Actually, the application that we have online and or printed for hard copy is the League of Minnesota City Sample.
Okay. That was just a comment.
Well, I think if you want to work in retail or almost any department of the city, if you aren't willing to fill out a more than 5-sentence application, we probably don't want to hire you. That's my own comment.
You know, 3 or 4
Read it out.
pages is veterans, so if they're not a veteran, they don't have to fill out that. You know, two of the pages is the Tennessee Warning. 3 of the pages is the release forms to do background checks and reference checks. There's, you know, 2 or 3 pages on work experience. Depending upon who's filling it out, they may only have 1 or 2 jobs, so they don't have to fill out the next 2 pages. So it may seem like a daunting experience or many pages, but they really just need to fill out what applies to them.
I think legally it'd be hard to cut down on much.
It's hard enough to be able to evaluate the applicants that we get when they don't fill out all the necessary information.
And a lot of the pages are just basically requirements like the Tennessee Warning that
Yeah.
you just have to sign.
Well, that's all I needed because sometimes I don't have the answers to the questions that are asked, so
Absolutely.
thanks for answering it.
Any other questions for Bill? Otherwise, we can have a motion.
I'll move to begin the hiring process for up to 2 summer part-time liquor store clerks and continue the hiring process until a recommendation can be made to council.
There's a second.
Second.
We have a motion by Megan, second by Donna, to begin the hiring process for up to 2 summer part-time liquor store clerks and continue the hiring process until a recommendation can be made to council. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Informational.
Oh, we got some more new business in the packet.
Yeah, look at the update version.
Oh, wait a minute. Dan, you want to buy some equipment for Ampey Park?
You want this one, Targ, or you want me?
Yeah, I'll go through this one. We, as you know, we received a generous donation from the soccer club, and we're also anticipating receiving another donation from the Lions. They're very interested in helping us out with Ampey Park. So with that, we plan on putting together what playground equipment we can and try to get it in the park, you know, as soon as we can get it ordered and installed. So Dan looked into a couple of different playground equipments that we can purchase, and we're recommending that we purchase one, sorry, that is $9,999, just below the amount we just received from the soccer club. The Lions Club would like to have their Leos come out and help with landscaping of that area for the playground. So, you know, thanks to them, they're very interested in helping out with that. And with that in mind, the Parks and Tree Board already approved the purchase of it.
And who would be doing the installation?
That will be Dan and his crew with the assistance of the Leos for the landscaping.
I know they're experienced,
We can do it.
but that was back when you had good helpers, you know.
So with that, yeah, we would, you know, like to be
make
able
sure
to
they know
purchase
that.
it.
He was just volunteered himself, you know that.
Oh, yeah.
No, me and John are retired.
Oh, yeah.
So we need a motion?
I have questions.
Oh, more questions?
Yes, I do. So I see here that the bid does not include the ground materials. What are you thinking for that?
Sand.
Because when we got the grant from Blandon for the park itself, one of the things that we put in there was that it was going to be an ability accessible playground, which I see we do have the swing here, which is great, but if you need a wheelchair, you can't get over sand.
That'll have to come as another portion.
Okay,
We'll have to get funding to make it ADA acceptable. We are putting an ADA swing in,
yeah,
but right now, even just a location to get to the sand. So we'll have to do some further fundraising to be able
Okay.
to create that pathway.
okay, and as far as if we did want to do, if we do put down sand and do landscaping and things, and then if later we have the funds to do rubber surfacing, so that, you know, if there are anybody in a wheelchair that they can get over to it, it's possible to do that, right?
Right, we would
Okay.
have to be something we try to raise funds for in the future.
Okay,
And we hope to get some funding from the Lions too, so we can put that aside for additional,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, we're ready for a motion?
Yeah. I'll move to approve the quote from Pro Playgrounds in the amount of $9,999 with funds to come from the Chain of Lakes Soccer Club's $10,000 donation.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion Megan, second Paul, to approve the quote from Pro Playgrounds for $9,999 and use the donation from the Chain of Lakes Soccer Club to do that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I want to thank the soccer club for that very nice donation. That's
Absolutely.
going to be very nice to have some equipment there for the youngsters when they're playing soccer, for the kids to play on and the neighborhood kids, and that neighborhood is growing, so very, very nice. Then we're up to G on our new agenda. Special council meeting.
We'd like to set a special council meeting to meet with the township to discuss the annexation agreement we have with them. The date that the township suggested for me that would work for us would be Wednesday, May 13th at 6 PM. And I was told that we have to have the meeting in city limits, so City Hall will be the location.
I cannot make it because I'm going to be out of town that week. And I can't make the other meeting on Thursday either.
Okay?
So this one, I'd like to be there.
Well,
Yeah,
if this doesn't work for everybody, like anybody else here, maybe we could suggest another time, but if this doesn't work, I'd like to have a time to suggest, or at least a couple of times.
I mean, if everybody can be there but me, I guess this is kind of the one of probably more than one meeting also, but I can't be there, but if everybody else can, go ahead.
I'd prefer you be there too, honestly.
I'll be able to make it.
Okay.
That week is kind of dicey for me, honestly. There's a lot going on, but I mean, if that's what works for everybody and we don't have an alternate date, I can try to
Well,
make it work.
alternatively, I'd like Jennifer to see the calendar there, what we could
So
suggest.
if that week is, kind of dicey, we could go to the next week. The third Monday, the 18th, is open. The 19th in the evening is open. The 21st is open. Do any of those days work for you? Or for the group?
So they have their township meetings on Tuesdays.
The second and the fourth, yeah.
So if any of those days are on Tuesdays, that probably wouldn't work.
It's the second and the fourth, same.
What about that Monday?
Monday, the 18th?
I can make the 18th work, probably.
Let me, just a minute.
Is that gonna coincide with the planning board?
No, because they move theirs to the first Monday of each month.
Gotcha, okay.
I think 18, 19, or 20 we could suggest, because I don't think they have a meeting on the 18th, the 19th, I mean.
No,
Well, the
it's-
downtown committee meets on the 20th, so,
I think the 19th would work better than the 18th for me personally, but
Well, can we suggest 2 dates for them and see what they come back with?
Should we try May 18th and May 19th?
Yep.
Well, let me look at my calendar here.
And then just to clarify, do we want this to be a working session?
The 19th isn't good for me.
What?
The 19th,
Is good?
no,
Oh.
it's not good for you neither if you're going to the Legion meeting.
Yeah, the 19th is not good for us. We have this.
It's not good, no.
So now we're down to the 18th?
Yeah.
Or the 20th if we can get downtown done in an hour?
Oh, yeah, we usually do that in an hour.
Yeah.
Or the 21st?
10 minutes.
Any of those are fine for me.
Me
Okay,
too.
You guys?
Yeah.
So 18th, 20th, or 21st?
Yeah.
Okay. 6 o'clock here at City Hall, and that will be a working session.
Correct.
Okay, I will suggest that to them, 6 PM, and see. Okay, I'll give you guys feedback on that.
And this is the meeting with the township.
Yes,
Yeah, can you make a motion to that? Setting that special meeting?
okay.
Or actually, we could, well,
Do we need to wait till we
I can
have?
make a motion and then
one of the 3 days.
for May 13th or,
No, 18, 20, 21.
okay, I'll
Contingent.
make a motion to set a special city council meeting for
May 18th, 20th, or 21.
May 18th, 20th, or 21st
Yep, at 6 o'clock.
at 6 o'clock, at City Council Chambers for the working session
Thank you.
with the Painesville Township.
Yep, perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
Are we limited to just annexation, or could there be other topics?
There could be other topics, but the primary focus would be on annexation first.
And it's just a working session too.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple joint items we think we
Yeah,
should
no,
be
they
discussing.
mentioned that as well, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
And I'll talk to you about
Okay, if there's
that.
anything else besides annexation, I think you just give me those items.
Sure.
I will.
Okay.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion Paul, second Megan, to set special city council retreat meeting
Working session.
or for May 18th or 20 or 21, 6 PM council chambers. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Then, all we have for information is your May and June calendars.
I have a quick question. Are we still gonna have the closed session?
Yeah, we will.
Gotcha.
We're not here, so we'll just have it at the end.
Gotcha. Okay, sounds good. I was just wondering.
They did send a letter, didn't they?
They did.
Can we go by that or not?
We can.
But we won't know if they accept. Well, let's,
I think we'll talk about that once we get into closed
yep,
session.
okay. So,
You recess?
we're gonna adjourn the council meeting.
No.
No, that's the open. We're
We're gonna make a
gonna,
motion to go into closed session.
okay, we need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
I think Paul beat you.
Yep.
Megan, motion, Paul second, go into closed session, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, we'll go into closed session. Carried.
All right. So now we're back in session.
We are back in session and we looked at a offer on lot 215, Kara Court. And the offer was $21,000. And I believe the council has talked over, and that's what we sold the lot a couple of weeks ago for, and we said that would work. So we need a motion to approve it.
We'll make that motion. I think it's pretty.
Megan on the motion, is there a second?
Second.
Donna got
Donna was
this one.
first this time.
Yeah, that's-
No, she
There you
passed. Motion Megan, Donna second to approve 21,000 for the lot 215 Kara Court. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And with that, I'll adjourn the meeting. Meeting adjourned.